Hello guys, you are watching German Gyan. My name is Nidhi Jain and guys, today we are up with the third episode of sentence structure. So in this video, you're gonna learn B1 all sentence structure. So we have compiled whole B1 level grammar part, each and everything just for you in one video. Already I have uploaded A1 and A2, link will be here of the playlist. Make sure to subscribe German Gyan, make sure to watch it because this sentence structure is a base of the whole level. So you need to practice the sentence structure. If you need to practice your expression, your like whatever you have to do, you must. It's a must for you to make yourself aware of this sentence structure. You should master this sentence structure. Make sure to subscribe German Gyan if you are watching for the very first time. Then my name is Nidhi Jain, founder and CEO of German Gyan. German Gyan provides you online and offline classes. We do provide teacher training program, exam preparation, brush up classes, speaking classes, like whatever you can think around German. German Gyan is a one-stop solution for all your queries. So yes guys, let's start this video because I am very excited. Let's go.
German B1 level sentence structures. The first sentence structure is of da plus wo compound. So da compound is used for framing statements and wo compound is used for framing questions. Now for framing da compound, you have to add a preposition with da and then it frames the da compound. And for the wo, again you have to do the same thing, add preposition with wo and then you will get a wo compound. Now remember one thing, that if you are going to use da compound for the statement, then for the particular thing for which you are using da compound, that thing should be introduced in the sentence earlier. For example, let's say I am saying ich warte auf den Bus. So instead of this, I can just directly say ich warte darauf. So what I did for framing the da compound, I just added preposition with da. Now because the preposition starts with a vowel, that's why I had a r in between da plus auf. So the same rule you have to follow for wo compound also. That means if a preposition starts with a vowel, then you have to put r in between. For example, worauf wartest du means for what are you waiting. The second sentence structure is of infinitive mit su, ohne su and su plus infinitive. So su plus infinitive, that we will discuss later on. First we'll discuss infinitive mit su plus infinitive. So the sentence structure mit su plus infinitive and ohne su plus infinitive, this sentence structure is used with verb, adjective and a noun. Now the sentence structure is, first you write the subject, then verb, then object, then you put a comma and write su and plus infinitive. So what you have to remember is that in these sentence structures, you use two verbs in a single sentence. Now first verb is conjugated according to the subject at the second place, and then another verb, that verb you write in the infinitive form at the end of the sentence. But remember, before writing that verb in the infinitive form, first you have to place su. That's why the topic says su plus infinitive. For example, ich verspreche dir pünktlich zu kommen means I promise you to come on time. Second, ich kann dir helfen, das Problem zu lösen means I can help you solve the problem. And third, ich lerne viel, die Prüfung zu bestehen means I study a lot to pass the exam. The third sentence structure is of end declination. End declination means there are some sort of masculine nouns which are considered weak noun in German language, and when they are used as an object, at that time they take the declination n. So your sentence structure is, first you write the subject, then you write the verb, then you write the object which is a weak noun, and then you write the end declination. For example, ich helfe dem Assistenten bei der Arbeit. Now because assistent is a weak noun, it took the declination en. Another example can be like a student. So student is a weak noun. Now if you use student as a subject, at that time you don't have to put any ending or any declination. But at the second time you use student as an object, then at that time you have to place the declination. So this is the only rule of end declination. Now comes zweiteilige Konnektoren. Now in B1 level there are so many Zweiteilige Konnektoren, so we'll discuss the sentence structures of each one by one. The first Zweiteilige Konnektoren is sowohl als auch, means both and the sentence structure is sowohl, then subject 1, then verb, then als auch, then subject 2 and then verb. Now remember one thing, if in both the sentences the verb is same, then you have to write the verb only once, but if the verbs are different, then only you have to follow the sentence structure. Now for example, for the single verb, the example can be ich esse sowohl Äpfel als auch Bananen, means I eat both apples and bananas. Now here, because the verb is same, I have written it only once. Another example is das Kleid ist sowohl elegant als auch bequem, means the dress is both elegant and comfortable. Second connector is entweder oder, means either or, and the sentence structure is first you write entweder, then your first subject, then verb, then oder, then second subject and again the verb. For example, möchte entweder reisen oder neue Sprachen lernen, means he wants to either travel or learn new languages. Second, entweder ich gehe nach Hause oder ich gehe ins Kino, means either I go home or I go to the cinema. Then comes the second connector, which is weder noch, and weder noch means neither nor. Now the sentence structure is weder, then comes verb, then subject, then rest of the sentence, then you put a comma, write noch, then verb and then subject and then again rest of the sentence. So for example, möchte weder reisen noch neue Sprachen lernen, means he wants neither to travel nor to learn new languages. Second example, weder gehe ich nach Hause noch gehe ich ins Kino, means I'm going neither home nor to the cinema. So this connector is used for negation of both the elements. Third sentence structure is of nicht nur sondern auch, means not only but also, and the sentence structure is nicht nur, then you write the first part of the sentence and then rest of the sentence, then you write sondern auch, then second part of the sentence. For example, nicht nur fährt mit dem Bus, sondern fährt auch mit dem Zug, means not only does he travel by bus, but he also travels by train. Another example, ich esse nicht nur Fleisch, sondern auch Gemüse, means I eat not only meat but also vegetables. Next structure is of je, ... desto or umso. So the structure is first you write je, then the comparative form of the adjective, then Nebensatz. That means remember the verb will go at the end because je frames a Nebensatz. Then you have to put a comma after the verb, then write desto or umso, then again the comparative form of the verb and then Hauptsatz, means the verb will come at the second position. So your example will be je länger ich lerne, desto besser verstehe ich den Stoff, means the longer I study, the better I understand the material. Second example, je mehr du übst, umso besser wirst du, means the more you practice, the better you become. Partizip 1 und 2 als adjective. So this is a sentence structure where you use the form of verb, that is partizip 1 and partizip 2 as an adjective. Now for framing partizip 1 as an adjective, you have to write the infinitive of the verb, then add t and then the adjective ending related to the noun for which you are going to use this adjective. And for participe 2, you have to write the article, then participe 2 of the verb, then adjective ending and then your noun. For example, der vor der Tür stehende Mann ruft nach dir, means the man standing in front of the door is calling for you. And second example, die geschriebene E-Mail wurde sofort verschickt, means the written email was sent immediately. Futur 1 means future 1, and the structure is First you write subject, then werden, which is conjugated according to the subject, then rest of the sentence, and then your main verb, that is your action verb, will be at the end of the sentence in the infinitive form. That means you write two verbs in a sentence and only werden is conjugated according to the subject. For example, wir werden morgen nach Berlin fahren, means we will travel to Berlin tomorrow. Second example, ich werde bald mit dem Projekt anfangen, means I will start the project soon. Futur 2 means future 2, and the structure is first comes the subject, then werden, which is again conjugated according to the subject, then you have to write the participle zwei of your main verb, and then haben or sein, which will be in the infinitive form at the end of the sentence. For example, ich werde gegessen haben bevor du ankommst, means I will have eaten before you arrive. Second example, sie wird die Arbeit beendet haben, wenn der Chef kommt, means she will have finished the work when the boss arrives. Relative pronomen mit Präpositionen. Now in A2 level we have already discussed the sentence structure of relative pronoun. So in B1 it comes with the preposition, and the sentence structure is that first you write the noun, then comma, then the preposition, and then the relative pronoun, then subject, then rest of the sentence, and then verb. Now remember, because relative pronoun frames a relative clause or a Nebensatz, that's why the verb is at the end of the sentence. Then after verb, again you have to put the comma, then you have to write the verb of the first sentence and then the object. For example, die Frau, mit der ich gesprochen habe, war sehr nett, means the woman with whom I spoke was very nice. Second example is das Haus, in dem sie wohnt, ist alt, means the house in which she lives is old. Genitive preposition, and the sentence structure is first you write the genitive preposition, then the genitive case, then verb, then subject, and then object. For example, wegen des schlechten Wetters bleiben wir zu Hause. Here wegen is the genitive preposition, and right after the wegen I have written the genitive case, which is des schlechten Wetters. And the translation is because of the bad weather we are staying at home. Another example, trotz der Schwierigkeiten hat sie das Ziel erreicht, means despite the difficulties she reached the goal. Passive voice. Now in B1 level we study passive voice in present tense, in preteritum, and in perfect. So the sentence structure in present is subject, then werden, and then participle zwei. For example, der Brief wird geschrieben, means the letter is written. Now if you want to write the same sentence in preteritum, then the only difference which is that instead of werden you have to write wurden. That means the werden conjugates according to the preteritum form. So the structure is again same, that means subject, then werden, which will be conjugated in preteritum form according to the subject, and then the participle zwei of your verb. For example, der Brief wurde geschrieben, means the letter was written. Now for writing the same sentence is perfect, you have to follow the sentence structure of subject, then at the second place you have to do the conjugation of sein, then participle zwei, and then worden at the end of the sentence. So example is der Brief ist geschrieben worden, means the letter has been written. Nachdem und before. Now these are also the connector of B1 level, and while studying this connector we also study pluscuamperfect tense. So the structure is that for nachdem first you write the pluscuamperfect tense and then you write the perfect tense, and for before you first write the preteritum and then you have to write the pluscuamperfect. There are still so many changes in the sentence structure, so for that you need to study the topic in detail. Now the example is nachdem ich gegessen hatte, bin ich spazieren gegangen, means after I ate, I went for a walk. So this was the example of nachdem, and for before the example is bevor ich zur Schule ging, hatte ich meine Hausaufgaben gemacht, means before I went to school, I did my homework.
So guys, how was this sentence structure structure video. I hope now you're a master of B1 sentence structure also. I hope you are already I hope you already have watched part 1 and part 2 of this A1 and A2 sentence structure. We'll catch you in the next 4th episode of the sentence structure, which will be B2 sentence structure. Thank you so much for showering lots of love. We'll catch you in the next one. Till then, keep learning German. The German girl. Take care.